Hello, YouTube. So yes, this is another before and after, and I'm going to be looking at the movie San Andreas. Now, I don't really think that this movie's gonna be that good. At least not to me. I mean, apparently, though, I must have left few here, because, like, everyone that said, oh yeah, this is really good, this is a really good movie, and my mom, my dad, my friends, they all say, oh my gosh, I want to see this movie, I want to see this. I'm like, why? It's an earthquake! It's a freaking earthquake! Go! Earthquake! Yay! Um, I guess that there could be something done here, like, maybe they could do sort of a Titanic thing with it, but yeah, no, it just doesn't really seem like that big of a thing to me. I don't know why. It just, like, it really got a lot of attention. And I don't know why. I don't really see anything in the trailer so far that makes it all that grand or stand out. Um, it looks kind of different, and hey, at least it is an original story, which we see a so rare few of those nowadays. Which, yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see a new original story. I mean, that's kind of neat. I mean, sure, it is like a disaster movie, which has been done to death, especially in the 90s, but hey, who knows? Maybe it'll be a different version. Maybe it'll take a different point of view a on a disaster movie. So I have no idea. I don't know what's gonna be like. Um, Dwayne The Rock Johnson looks like he might be pretty good in this. Like I've only really seen him in like a few movies, like The Tooth Fairy, which no one can make that role good. Ray Switchmelon, which he did pretty good in that. And The Game Plan, which he did pretty good in that one too. So really, I don't really know what to say about this. Like, there's not much to say. Like, it looks fine, I guess, but it doesn't really look like it has anything that grand standing out about it or anything that great. Who knows? I could be totally wrong. I could be completely the opposite on this. I mean, I might love this movie or I might hate it. I don't know. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about this very short before part. Probably going to be short in the after part too. I don't know. Um, so yeah, bye for now until the after part, which is probably just going to be in like 2.5 seconds for you guys. So, but for me, I'm going to go at 7:30, and I still got a while until then. So yeah, bye. I'm sorry I dragged out this ending part here so long. Okay, so I just got back from seeing San Andreas, so of course I'm gonna talk about it a bit. Now the story is like, okay, of course, there's an earthquake on the San Andreas fault. It's now hit, and it's one of the it's one of the biggest earthquakes recorded. So of course there are tons of people unprepared for it, and it happens. And then there's a big tsunami caused by it that somehow goes like this. Boop. Yeah, just like got hit by something, I guess. I don't know. It's just like right there, starting to come up, goes back around somehow. I guess it was a slingshot tsunami. I don't know. But yeah, really, the story of this movie is the destruction. There is a lot of destruction in this, and that's really the biggest thing in it. Is like all this destruction, all this death happening. But here's the thing: we've seen this so many other times. The thing about disaster movies nowadays is that they really had to step it up. Like when Independence Day came out, that movie did well as a disaster movie because it was different. And it only really showed the earth, showed the White House blowing up. That's what sold it. People wanted to see why that was happening, how that happened. What did that mean? What staple did that have? And so it did something different. It did something with its advertising that was different. But yeah, this movie does do something kind of neat with like the California dream thing going on in the background, but that's not really adds into the advertising of making you must see this Like, you have to see this. Independence Day made it feel like that, but this one doesn't. And with other movies, they would like experiment with things at the time, with what they could do with disaster movies. And there are a ton of other disaster movies that would actually go up to be like, hey, what if we destroyed the world? What if we made the world be destroyed instead of just a place? Let's have the world be threatened. And that's sort of what happened mainly in the 90s. So they really had to step it up with this movie and do something new with it and clever, but instead they mainly focus on this is a disaster, this is what it does. Which, yeah, it's obvious that that's the message that's trying to bring out, but they gotta be a little bit more creative with it and a little bit more unique as to how they approach it. Maybe not have the earthquake or tsunami come like an hour in. So then, yeah, okay, people would sort of feel let down a bit, but maybe have like some foreshadowing to it, really good foreshadowing, like maybe someone left their computer on, like one of the scientist guys left their computer on by mistake, and then as we start to see it very slowly, it'd be like starting to go up its in its approach, like on the graph. That would be neat, like showing how, like, okay, it's starting here, just so you know, it's starting up very slowly, some really neat foreshadowing. But they don't really do that. They just like get straight to the point. There's an earthquake. We're gonna bring it, and we're gonna show it to you. We know that's what you paid for. But the thing is, I had heard a lot about this movie being like, oh my gosh, this movie is so good, really good. There's a lot of things that happen in it. It's so great. So well they executed it, but I don't see it. To me, it was more of a checklist of disaster movies. Really, there are moments where I was in the theater, like, I wish I had brought an actual checklist of disaster movie cliches with me, because, really, people get an actual disaster movie cliche list, and a product placement bingo list. You're gonna need it. Because, like, when I was watching the movie, I'm like, opening person gets hit by mild disaster, check. Showing that America is strong by showing the American flag at the end, check. Having the dramatic love story, check. Having the quiet silence as all the disaster is going on around, check. Have the broken up couple for some reason, that's always in disaster movies, check. Have them get together again in the end, check. Have kids in it for some reason as a commonplace thing, check. Have the giving up all hope that you can even make it out and just cradling your arms around a loved one, knowing that that's the last thing you will ever be able to do, check. The fake out, check, check, check. There are so many things that you can just check off in that, so really, make a checklist. If you're gonna go see this, make a freaking checklist. Find a checklist. Do something with a disaster movie checklist. Because, trust me, you are going to need it. And it's a lot of fun to check off things during it, because I was doing that so much throughout the movie, and if you guys like doing stuff like that, like me, then go and do it, because you're gonna need it. The Rock in this is kind of underplayed, like, plays like, oh no, a tsunami. Dang it, what am I gonna do? Okay, look at that, like, razor blades on a boat, what else? Oh, thanks a lot, world, thanks for giving me a razor sharp blade boat for some, razor sharp blade bands for some reason on the boat. Yeah, thanks. Propel the boat. Thank you. Thank you. That's gonna make my trip a whole lot easier. And yeah, you can tell he's like, God, this is such an interference. You know, this is really annoying me. This whole entire Earth shaking and the tectonic plates just moving like that. Yeah, can you stop with that for a bit and just sort of let me get to my daughter? But the thing is, that is sort of what you would expect from this type of character. He plays it as, like, this guy who's seen all this stuff 1,000 times. So it makes sense why he would be like, got another thing like this, great. Um, what else could I need? But he, that can get old at times. That can get kind of old. So maybe if he looked over it at one moment and said something like, "Wow, I really can't save everyone here. There's really nothing that I can do to save everyone here." Maybe that would have been like a very interesting character development. But most character development I get is, "Oh no, I let our daughter die. Okay, well, let's go on a trip. Okay, well, we gotta go save my other daughter before she dies the exact same ironic way." Oh yeah, that's one of the fake outs. She's supposed to be dead one of the exact same ways that her sister died. Oh no. Yeah, weird thing is, everyone in the theater went completely silent there. Except for me, that is, because I was actually laughing throughout the whole scene. I was just like, oh my god, that overblown reaction. Do you really think that she's not gonna make it out? Oh, wow, she's alive, really? Oh, okay. Well, wait a minute. Wait, no, she's not waking up yet. Well, you really got me there, movie. You really got me. Yeah, she's alive. She's alive. She's alive. She's alive. She's alive. She's alive. Oh, hey, she's alive. um, so that's really what I did for her, for most of that. Like, oh yeah, okay. It's a fake out. They're not dead. There's a moment where I'm just like, oh hey, yeah, she really didn't catch that. Yeah, she really didn't grab onto that. Then it's like, oh hey, she grabbed onto it. Wow, what a shocker. What a freaking shocker. She grabbed onto it. Now, the wife in this isn't that bad, but she doesn't have that much of an identity aside from, well, she's the wife. And there's also Blake. Okay, so character Blake, while not being bad, is still kind of a cool character. Um, she's pretty resourceful throughout the movie. Like when she's like, okay, yeah, I gotta call my parents to tell them where I am. My dad's a search and rescue guy, so we can get out of here. She says, okay, no, we are not going to use our cell phones because it's kind of clear they are not going to be working right now. So what we should do is go into an electronics store and use a landline, because all electronics stores now have landlines, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Never really seen a landline in an electronics store, but I've seen landlines. They've even been in my house, so I don't get why there was a landline there. But so yeah, there's also the moment where she's like, okay, okay, there has to be like some sort of resource box in here in this fire truck, so let's go check it out. Okay, we got a map of everything, we need that. We got first aid kit, we need that. We got some water balls, we need that. We got a walkie-talkie, we should use that. Okay, our area's been blocked. Okay, so we can't get to where we want to go. Okay, well, let's go to the highest point, just to make sure, just in case something else like this happens, that we can also be in high ground. Which works so well for her mother. Yeah, for her mother, it worked so well to be on the top of the building. Well, in all fairness, they did go down to, like, the halfway point of the building, but that apparently didn't help them either. And instead of just looking over the tsunami while you go up the stairs, they weren't that far away. You probably could have made it up the stairs if you just stopped staring at the tsunami and Wednesday and all. It's like, tsunami, we're doing this for the trailer. No, you could just stop looking at it for a bit, maybe walk up the stairs, so then you can get even higher, because right after that you just say, we're not high enough, we gotta go up higher. So really, why didn't you just go up the stairs? The character Ben is actually pretty good. He's very well written. I actually did want to see him make it out alive, which, spoiler, he does. so he got a piece of glass in him that probably would give him some sort of disease there. Probably would die from that, so yeah, happy ending. Ollie is a pretty funny character. He's Ben's little brother. He's a pretty good character. He's pretty funny. You can tell he's just there for comedy though, and also for a little bit of resourcefulness. But there are sometimes where he just like makes jokes, and I'm like, kid, are you gonna look over the earthquake destruction and be like, hey, I survived that, or anything? Ever? No? Okay. I know I would, but okay. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. But there is one character that I do really want to talk about here. And this character is David. Now, why would I want to talk about this guy, aside from saying that he was Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four, from the first two Fantastic Four movies. Which, yeah, do with that what you will. I actually made a few jokes in the theater about it. But one thing I really do want to talk about here is that, yes, he's the jerk in this movie, but he doesn't start out that way. Okay, let me explain. You see, he starts off as the stepfather that just wants to be accepted by his stepdaughter, and sort of be like, yeah, okay, I know I can't fill in where your dad left off, but and I can see that you two have a really good friendship and relationship with one another, so you know what? No, I'm not gonna try and do that. I'm just going to try and be a good stepfather. And that's actually really nice. That's a really cool step. And then what happens? He's in the earthquake. His daughter's legs are stuck, not crushed or anything. No, they're just stuck by a giant, heavy piece of cement that apparently became light as a feather as it fell down on her, so it wouldn't crush her legs, and then got heavy again. So much so that a man can't move it, but it doesn't crush anyone's legs, I guess. Yeah, I don't get that. It just sort of does. Just don't question it. And for some odd reason, he doesn't leave the door open, even though they are in a garage. There is the chance that, I don't know, a big piece of cement could come on top of the car. And guess what? A big piece of cement does come on top of the car. The car door could have got jammed in there, and she couldn't have been able to get out. Why not already just leave the door open, just so then, just in case that were to happen, then like the door would have fallen off, so then there would be a fair escape area. Really, that's what I was thinking. Like, okay, Ollie, while you're just standing there, go open up the door. Or don't do that, I guess. Even though you're not necessary for this moment, and you can just open up the door for her, so then she'll be fine. But, whatever standing around does for you, I guess. But back on to David, after that tiny little rant. Very small. Now, one thing that he does after his stepdaughter is stuck in there is he tells her, okay, I'm gonna go get help. And yeah, it's pretty obvious what'll happen there. Like, okay, I'm gonna go get help. I'll be right back. Yeah, if you couldn't catch on to that, catch on to it. He's not gonna come back. But someone else will come down there, like maybe Ben and Ollie, the people that you was talking to before. Don't set up your scenes like that, director. Don't make them so predictable. But what he does here is he actually does come out and say, hey, can anyone help me? Can anyone help me out here? My stepdaughter is stuck in a car. I can't get her out. Can someone please just help me out here? Please, just someone. Her name is Blake, just so you know. Thought you should know that. Just in case if anyone had already met her and might want to come down there and save her, yeah, that'd be nice. Can someone help her out, please? Come on, come on. Aren't these people selfish? Come on. But then, of course, his jerk character comes out when there's a big piece of cement that comes down right near him and took his shoe right off. But somehow missed the rest of his foot. And actually it landed like a foot away from him, so how did he even get the shoe? He didn't really jump back, he didn't even see it coming, so how did it land like a foot away from him and still got a shoe, and the shoe lands like right in the middle of the wreckage of the thing? How does that work? I don't know. But one really interesting thing about him there is that then he's actually the jerk, but it's not really from that. It's mainly just from fear of, like, oh my god, I could die here. I feel like such a jerk right now, but I can't stay here. I'm gonna die here if I stay. And then he just leaves. But then when his true colors come out is when he pushes a guy out of his safety area into a huge cloud of all the wreckage. Come on! What were you thinking there? What, did you just think it would be fine? But yeah, he actually is kind of neat in how they show him as not the jerk at first, and then he is the jerk. So that was kind of cool. It's a good foundation and good story to keep it going. So really, it's not the worst disaster movie I've ever seen. I mean, there have definitely been worse disaster movies done on worse topics, but it's almost still pretty good as is. It definitely, but if there was one thing that I do think that it had going for it, that maybe the reason why people like this so much is the atmosphere. The one atmosphere it does give off is the atmosphere of dread, of fear, of hopelessness. That there is no way that you're getting out. That you just might die in this situation. And that atmosphere is actually pretty well created through moments where people are just stopping and looking at everything and just witnessing all the destruction. Yeah, that moment is pretty overdone, and yeah, I mean, it's nothing new, but they just hold on it for just long enough to be able to be like, wow, there's a chance that we might not make it out. There's a chance that we might just die here. And that's actually kind of an interesting idea to dabble with. And I think that if they went into it a little bit more, instead of saying, oh hey, an earthquake, oh hey, another earthquake, oh hey, another freaking earthquake, oh hey, now a tsunami. Now people drowning in buildings. Yeah, there's like so many natural disasters happening. And again, tsunamis would not go like, they would not go like that. There's no way that a tsunami could be like, then just come back. There's nothing. There's no way that would work. Come on. Do some of your research. It'd be going towards Hawaii, which would make a good sequel if they go to Hawaii and then the tsunami actually fills up what it should have done. And also, that guy lost his leg. Because really, that glass, it's gonna affect somebody. So yeah, not a bad movie. I definitely think that I was trying to create an atmosphere, which it pulled off. So yeah, could have been a whole lot worse. So yeah, bye.